Mr. President, how are you going to get the Southern Democrats to support your civil rights legislation?
I believe that civil rights is a moral issue, and certainly hope that our friends in the South will adopt that view.
Sir, what about Vietnam? Are you considering a troop withdrawal?
I'm committed to stopping the communists, but the war is in the hands of the Vietnamese. They're going to have to win or lose after themselves. Thank you.
There's no timeline there.
What happens if the legislation stays stuck in the Senate?
Is this still a war we can win?
When you look at the checklist of all the themes you look for when you start a drama, again, this is like a 10 out of 10 checklist. Ambition, jealousy, betrayal, tragedy. The list goes on, and you'll find it in the Kennedy family. I mean, that's what is so unique about the family and about this opportunity to do this show.
There's so many stories about the Kennedys. There are, first of all, so many Kennedys to deal with. We've selected, the 4 or 5 that we're concentrating on. But at first, when you say 8 hours, that's a lot. We'll be able to cover a lot of material in 8 hours. You realize 8 hours is really just the tip of the iceberg. There's just so much that you really have to start to think about, where you want the story to sit.
Ultimately, the balance was to give an audience the sense of history that was happening in this fairly limited wedge of time and let them appreciate that existing in those sorts of corridors of power where huge historic decisions are made by people who also have private lives and fathers and wives and children. And it's an overwhelming enough prospect to try and balance family. But when you throw it on this kind of historic stage, it's amazing.
Some of the incredible things that Jack and Bobby were dealing with at the time, then you forget that, they had to get up in the morning and put their pants on one leg at a time, and they had to deal with family matters that you just, you wouldn't necessarily think that a president would have to be dealing with while he's also trying to contain nuclear war. And I was really grateful that Joel Surnow and John Cassar really wanted to go in a different direction with this piece. I felt like that's what set us apart. This is not just another dry political drama about the Kennedys.
When I sat down with the producers and the writers, they said, this is more of telling a Greek tragedy and, really just playing it as a drama like that, because that's really what it was. And so we are filling in drama in between moments that we do know happened, and we don't know really what happened behind the closed doors, but we are trying to just tell something that has good tension and a good story.
People talk about the curse that seems to echo down the generations of the Kennedys, and in a certain sense it's true. And if you're going to see it in a kind of Greek tragedy sense, there isn't a better sort of patriarchal figure than Joe Kennedy. It's the Harvard and Yale guys you're talking to, the PhDs. Their only allegiance is to their resume. Bobby's as smart as any of them, and he'll jump under a train for you.
I'll think about it.
No, don't think. Get it done. There are lots of other work to do. You don't quite see it, but it's hinted at, I think, in our story, that both Jack and Bobby, they were bullied as children. The sort of modern, touchy-feely, caring, sharing parenthood was something rather distant from Rose's and Joe's kind of sense of what parents should be. They were the boss. Whatever they said, you did. And if you didn't do it, you got punished.